let's look ahead to the first ODI with Wasim Jaffer and Makhaya Ntini. Let's bring up that ODI squad. These days, it's a very different team that tends to play formats that the first team doesn't want to play. I'll come to South Africa in a moment. Let's look at India's team first. Shikhar Dhawan is back as captain. Remember, we've got a 50-over World Cup in just about a year's time now in these parts of the world. Shreyas Iyer, who got the last game at Indore. Shubman Gill's been terrific at the top of the order. Returns for Samson, Gaikwad, Rahul Tripathi, a first-time call-up for Rajat Patidar and Mukesh Kumar, the Bengal seamer. Ravi Bishnoi is there. He's part of the reserve. So too is Deepak Chahar in the T20 World Cup. Shardul Thakur, Shahbaz Ahmed, Avesh Khan, Mohammad Siraj, Kuldeep Yadav, all part of this squad too. So Wasim, I guess first question is, what's your 11 and what are the areas you'd like to see India try out in what looks like a series of, rather less significance, but we can't rule out that every 50-over game now till that next World Cup will also give us something to take away?
Yeah, I think it will give a lot of game time to these guys. They can put their case forward for the future games and future series. I mean, couple of handy knocks, couple of hundreds from anyone, or maybe even Pfeiffer or a decent performance will obviously catch the eye of the selectors for the future games. So these games do hold importance in my opinion. No international game has no value at all. So they'll put their case forward. I've written down the team, Ronak. So I'll probably go with Dhawan and Gill as the opener. I'll go with Shreyas as number 3, Ishan Kishan as number 4, Sanju Samson at 5, Shahbaz Ahmed, I'll play him as number 6 all-rounder. He's good enough batsman to hold his place at 6. Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur, they're 2 all-rounders. Ravi Bishnoi, number 8, number 9. Kuldeep, number 10. And Mohammad Siraj makes the number 11. So I'll probably stick with... And I think it gives a lot of variation as well. I think it's got 3 spinners, it's got 3 fast bowlers. So you've got a lot of variety. Quite a few all-rounders, so I think lot of these guys will be tested, and I think something which India needs. Those 2011, if you look at those World Cup teams, or even 2007, there were a lot of all-rounders in that team. So I think something will probably come out, if these guys perform well.
All right, fair enough. Let's have a look at South Africa's ODI side. Now, curiously, South Africa have played pretty much their strongest team, which is also going to the T20 World Cup for the ODI series. So Bavuma will continue to be captain. From a South African perspective, you dearly hope he gets some runs. It's been a woeful series with the bat for the returning captain after injury. Quinton de Kock there, Reza Hendrickson reserves. Janneman Malan is considered to be a specialist in the 50-over format. Andile Peklukwayo too. Other than that, it's pretty much the same squad that played the T20I series. Makhaya, I think the first question here is, with the T20 World Cup coming up, a change to the 50-over format for a lot of these players that will be playing the T20 World Cup, what sort of areas do you think South Africa can look to take away from a different format so close to the World Cup?
No, it's quite a good one. And I think as well, they need to use Reza Hendricks as well. They cannot put Reza Hendricks on the bench. And I think as well, when it comes to, I would say, Malan, he needs to come up front, to open, because he used to open with Quinton de Kock as well. At the same time, Markram come at number 3. And I think Klassen as well. Reza Hendricks and Klassen, they need to utilize them. They need to put them up in the top order so that they can be able to showcase their talent as well going to the World Cup. And I think Bavuma, as we're talking about him, he's got a lot of question marks around his name. Should he stand out and rethink about his level of fitness when it comes to game time, or will he be able to say, I need more time, to bet on? Now it's 50 overs. I can take it easy, not try to run up and try to hit the ball from ball 1. So that's another thing that they need to look at it. Now we're losing one of the top water batsmen, which has scored 100 now in the 2020. So then will it be something else, when it comes to Mark Boucher, by using Reza Hendricks up front, and with Quinton de Kock, and using Malan in a position of Bavuma? That, for me, it will be another thing that they need to look at, because Bavuma hasn't done very well. Malan is at working. We know that is very good when it comes, with the white ball in a 50-over game.
I'm glad you brought out the Bavuma point. We forget this perhaps is the format he's been most successful at. He's only played the 19 ODIs. He averages over 45. Would you give these 3 ODIs a chance for Bavuma to make a call on him? or have you already made a call and said, no, he's certainly going to be our captain, it doesn't matter? Or is that, would you go the other way, and drop your captain on form and play batters that are on the bench?
I think in my book, Bavuma doesn't fit into the T20 World Cup side. Just because he's a captain, I think he's playing. Otherwise, there's better players who are on the bench. So I would have definitely would have made Riley Rousseau, or I don't know, somebody else, maybe David Miller a captain, and definitely would have played Reza Hendricks, because Temba Bavuma doesn't fit into the T20 11.